For thousands of years, humanity looked up and believed the stars were silent. But the universe has been speaking all along.
James Webb found galaxies older than the universe that contains them. Not older by miscalculation, older by observation. Their light carries the signature of stellar populations that require time the cosmos did not possess when they ignited. Fully formed spirals burning 300 million years after the Big Bang. Epochs when only darkness and hydrogen should exist. And the instruments do not lie. The redshift does not lie. The math does not reconcile. How does a child give birth to its own mother? The first doctrine of cosmology: nothing precedes the Big Bang. 13.8 billion years ago, space-time itself ignited from a singularity smaller than an atom. Everything that exists, matter, energy, causality, emerged in that instant. Time began. Before that moment, the word "before" holds no meaning. The universe is the absolute boundary of age. Nothing within it can predate its birth. This is not theory. This was law, until Webb looked deeper. Webb was built to observe the cosmic dawn. The first 400 million years after the Big Bang, astronomers expected primitive structures, infant galaxies, small clumps of hydrogen coalescing under gravity, beginning the slow process of star formation, chaotic proto-galaxies with masses measured in millions of suns, not billions, irregular shapes, no spirals, no structure. The universe was too young for complexity. That was the prediction. That was the expectation. That is not what the mirror revealed. Redshift is the Rosetta Stone of cosmic distance. Light stretches as it travels through expanding space. The farther the source, the more crimson the signature. Webb measured redshifts beyond Z equals 16. That places these galaxies 200 to 700 million years after the Big Bang. Spectroscopic confirmation, not estimation. The light departed when the universe was less than 5% its current age. That epoch permits nothing but formless gas. Yet, there they burn. Vast, ancient, impossible. The First Betrayal. These are not infant galaxies. A Webb-resolved structure, spiral arms, barred cores, disk morphology. Such architecture requires billions of years to form under current cosmological models. Gravity must gather matter. Dark matter halos must stabilize. Stars must form, live, die, and enrich the interstellar medium with heavy elements. Only then do elegant spirals emerge. The timeline demands at least 1 billion years. The universe had given them 300 million. The clock does not stretch. The galaxies do not care. Spiral galaxies are wounds in space-time that take epochs to carve. Differential rotation, density waves propagating through stellar disks, self-organizing gravitational resonance. The physics is not controversial. The timescale is. Current models require 2 to 3 billion years minimum for spiral structure to stabilize. Webb found them pristine at 600 million years post-bang. Not emerging, not forming, fully realized. The universe had not aged enough to sculpt them. Yet, they stand as monuments to time that should not exist. The second betrayal, mass. Webb spectroscopy reveals galaxies exceeding 100 billion solar masses at redshifts beyond 12. Lambda-CDM predicts maximum masses of 10 billion suns at those epochs, and even that requires optimal conditions. These galaxies are 10 times too massive. Gravity operates at fixed speed. Dark matter halos grow through hierarchical merging over billions of years. There was not enough time. There was not enough matter. The gravitational budget of the infant universe cannot pay for what Webb observed. Dark matter is the invisible scaffold upon which all galaxies form. Its halos attract baryonic matter and compress it into stars. The process is well modeled. Slow, hierarchical. Small halos merge into larger ones over billions of years. The timeline is constrained by the speed of gravitational collapse and the cooling time of hydrogen gas. At redshift 16, dark matter halos should be mere seeds, insufficient to host the titans Webb discovered. The scaffold was never built. The structure stands anyway. Dark matter cannot explain this. The third betrayal, stellar populations, spectroscopic analysis, reveals not just stars, but aged stars, red giants, carbon-enriched atmospheres, metal abundances indicating multiple generations of stellar death and rebirth. First-generation stars, population 3, are metal-free and short-lived. Their deaths seed the interstellar medium with heavy elements. Second- and third-generation stars incorporate those elements. This process requires hundreds of millions of years minimum. Webb found evidence of third-generation stars at 300 million years. Post-bang, the generations collapse into impossibility. Reionization marks the epoch when the first stars ionize the universe's hydrogen fog, making space transparent. This required immense ultraviolet radiation from billions of early stars. Lambda-CDM places Reionization completion at 450 million years. Post-bang, Webb's massive galaxies at 300 million years imply Reionization occurred far earlier, before sufficient stars should exist to accomplish it. The photon budget does not balance. The universe became transparent before it manufactured the light to clear the fog. Cause follows effect. Lambda-CDM has governed cosmology for 3 decades. Cold dark matter plus Einstein's cosmological constant. It predicts cosmic microwave background fluctuations with staggering precision. It explains large-scale structure, supernova distances, galactic rotation curves. Every test it has faced, it has passed. Until Webb. The model cannot accommodate galaxies this massive, this structured, this early. Adjusting parameters breaks other predictions. The framework that unified cosmology now fractures under observation. The edifice cracks. The foundation shifts. What holds the cosmos together if Lambda-CDM fails? Cosmology has faced this crisis once before. The Methuselah Paradox, globular clusters containing stars aged 14 billion years, older than the universe's then accepted age of 12 billion. The resolution: revise the universe's age upward. But Webb's galaxies cannot be resolved by revision.
The strange part is not that Webb found distant galaxies. That was expected. The strange part is that these galaxies appear too mature, too massive, and too organized for the age of the universe around them. If the observations hold, the problem is not the telescope. The problem is the timeline.
The cosmic microwave background constrains universal age to 13.8 billion years with extraordinary precision. The margin of error is 40 million years, not billions. The galaxies stand in epochs the universe did not live through. The paradox admits no conventional escape. If galaxies exist that predate the observable universe, one conclusion becomes unavoidable. The Big Bang was not the beginning. Something came before. A prior cosmos, a predecessor universe whose matter and structure somehow transferred through the singularity. Cyclic cosmology, eternal inflation, conformal cyclic cosmology. Models cosmologists have entertained as speculation now demand consideration as necessity. The evidence forces the question: what if the Big Bang was not birth, but rebirth? What if time loops? What if we inhabit an iteration? Roger Penrose proposed conformal cyclic cosmology. The universe expands forever, entropy reaches maximum, and in that far future, the distinction between infinite space and singularity vanishes. A new Big Bang ignites within the cooling ash of the old cosmos. Information, structure, matter distributions, even galaxies could theoretically survive the transition, encoded in gravitational waves or conformal geometry. Webb's galaxies might be echoes, monuments from a universe that ended before ours began. Time becomes a wheel. The cosmos becomes eternal. Death becomes transition. Modified Newtonian dynamics. MOND, a heresy among cosmologists. It proposes gravity behaves differently at galactic scales, stronger, faster, eliminating the need for dark matter entirely. Under MOND, galaxies form faster, structures emerge earlier, the timeline compresses. Lambda-CDM requires dark matter. MOND abolishes it. For decades, MOND has been dismissed. Lambda-CDM reigned. But Webb's galaxies form precisely as MOND predicts, and Lambda-CDM forbids. What if dark matter never existed? What if gravity itself has been misunderstood since Newton? Heresy becomes hypothesis. There exists one scenario where galaxies can predate their universe. If the universe is not fundamental, if reality is computational. A simulation permits inconsistencies the programmer failed to smooth. Ancient galaxies placed carelessly in an infant cosmos, artifacts of generation algorithms. The simulation hypothesis is unfalsifiable and therefore unscientific. Yet it explains what physics cannot. If we inhabit a rendered cosmos, temporal paradoxes become glitches. Observation becomes debugging. The question shifts. Not how do these galaxies exist, but who made the error that allowed them to remain? Telescopes do not theorize. They observe. Webb's instruments recorded photons that traveled 13 billion years through expanding space. Those photons do not negotiate with Lambda-CDM. They do not adjust to preserve theoretical consistency. They arrive bearing the spectral signatures of their origin. And their origin violates the timeline we constructed to contain them. Observation is verdict. Theory is defendant. When they conflict, theory must yield. The question is not whether these galaxies exist. They do. The question is what we must abandon to accommodate them. Cosmology stands at the threshold. Lambda-CDM will not survive unmodified. Dark matter's explanatory power weakens. The Big Bang's singularity loses its absolute status as beginning. Modified gravity demands reconsideration. Cyclic models migrate from fringe to necessity. The next decade will dismantle and reconstruct the cosmological framework, not through choice, through force. Webb has delivered the evidence that compels revolution. The universe has spoken. Cosmology must listen. What emerges will redefine time, matter, origin. The foundation rebuilds itself, even as we stand upon it. How does a child give birth to its own mother? The answer is terrible and absolute. Time is not what we believed. Either it loops, or it was never bound by the singularity we named the beginning. These galaxies exist because causality itself is negotiable at cosmological scales. They are not anomalies, they are evidence. The universe is older, stranger, and more recursive than the models that sought to contain it. This is what Webb found. This is what the light declares. Subscribe. Witness what exists when observation overthrows certainty.
The universe does not explain itself. It leaves evidence in light, waits billions of years, and lets us decide whether we are brave enough to look. Subscribe to the observatory and witness what exists when observation overthrows certainty.